You have to hand it to Uncle from Another World. Only in this show can you have a man legit have a nosebleed to what is usually a scene. In any other anime, it's a character being flustered from what they're seeing, but Uncle, being Uncle, is legit just having his nose bleed because, well, as we know, the memory erasing spell, if you regain the memory that you erased, the nosebleed occurs. And just the whole bait and switch around such a classic anime trope, but in such a perfect scene, because anyone bleeding their nose, given the scene that they were watching, would probably be more accepted than most in the genre in terms of how they use those scenes, but leave it to Uncle to just escalate it in such a brilliant Uncle from Another World fashion and delivering another saucy but hilarious episode. I mean, I knew right away as soon as Uncle was on top of Alicia that either A, there was going to be a hot spring sharing bath scene, or she was going to come into the room at night. There was no way you didn't do one or the other. I just wasn't expecting it to go, I guess, as spicy, but as kind of bittersweet as it turned out to be. The thing that I've really enjoyed about the latest batch of Uncle episodes is that it's both remaining to be just as silly, hilarious, and spicy, but actually show Uncle as a way more human character, which was really nice to see over this episode and even a couple episodes back when he saved Elle from the whole slave trader things that was going on there. Now, I do have a full live reaction to today's episode if you're interested, so consider supporting the Patreon if you want to see that, but let's talk about this episode, because Uncle is a character who is very oblivious, and we've known that for some time. When it comes to Takafumi, he can see things a mile away. Takafumi can see things coming from Uncle's way a million miles away. But both of them, in terms of their own life, are completely oblivious, and that's part of the charm of this show. But there's something about seeing Uncle be way more human and feeling regret, feeling sad, while still being able to be just as silly. Like, you have a scene where we get the whole concept of memories and how important it is to this girl, and he goes out of his way to say, I've actually erased your memories, and in the moment, they were pretty funny when the episodes were airing. Now, in hindsight, seeing just how she can't even remember her parents and she doesn't actually know when her birthday is, the fact of the matter was, out of his way to put himself in a situation that can make her hate him, and when she was upset, he promised to never do it again. And I love how in the middle of such a sweet, angry, wholesome, but kind of like they're stronger than ever before scene, you can then escalate it with that humor, where he's like, you know what, I actually erased a minute ago too. How about you just show me whatever it is I erased? I want to see that. And she's like, no, let's not go there. And as she starts stripping to show him the scene that he erased, our elf has to come in and snipe with her amazing railgun-like sword scabbard thing, which was just so badass. There's one character in this anime season who I am firmly convinced does not want to share their man, or what seems to be their man. It is Elf for sure. I will say though, and I hope I'm not the only one feeling this, from the variety of the creatures that they fight in this show, to the way the magic spells are casted, or magic items are used, there's something so perfect about this show and how they go to that extra detail and that extra mile to make it really feel like it's popping as something very creative and very unique. Because on paper, elves, magic systems, and all that, we've seen that so many times. We see that over a dozen times every anime season. But Uncle's, the way they go about this show, right? From the general creatures, you have these weird wolf bird-like beasts that are just so gross, they're so vicious, but they're so different from any sort of horde of wolves that attacks a general spa in village scene in any other show. You have these birds that limit magic. So at first when they started doing this, there was this gas leaking from them, I was like, oh shit, they can not only nullify magic, but they can also knock you out or poison you. Turns out, instead of just going with it's a creature that can stop magic, they do it in such Uncle fashion where they turn it into something that's yeah, more or less, the spirits just go away because the breath be stank. And I'm like, okay, that is actually a hilarious, but honestly, given what we know about the spirits and how the spirits are the ones giving you the magic abilities in this world, it kind of makes sense that the spirits wouldn't want to be around a bird that apparently stinks the whole room up, and the fact that the room is an open environment, it says a lot about the smell. Or I think one of my favorite things that I've seen from this show is the almost railgun electric bolt sniper rifle that our girl now has. We ended last episode with her training in the mountains, which was pretty funny as she was swinging around goddamn trees and stuff, but the fact of the matter was, it opens up and it basically functions functions as a sniper rifle, and it can shoot electricity bolts like almost a railgun. The fact that a sword scabbard can be that cool and transform in such a high-tech military way was just really cool, and the fact of the matter was, that was the least impressive thing from our favorite spectators, because they're like, oh shit, Elf's in glasses now? Let's talk about that. And I was kind of like with Uncle, I was like, what are you talking about? That's actually a pretty cool ability that she has here. And I'm just like, that was more interesting to me. But then again, when you have a girl who's just all about that uncensored nudity and a man who's just more about the fetish side of things, it's no surprise why they were more focused on the glasses and the new look of Elf, so to speak. But it was really nice because even when it comes to like his general magic system, right? I mean, Uncle pretty much has like these 3 seals that he ends up using to launch himself up, to blow it up, and then in order to brace his fall. I thought he was going to use water, and turns out he used ice, and just the fact of the matter was, I'm pretty sure he broke his goddamn kneecaps when he did that. And then just to see how like he uses like the chain attacks and everything, it just feels like there's so much going on. And the fact that instead of just like slowing things down and making a section of an Uncle episode an action part, or a fan service part, or a joke part, or a character building part, there's almost at least 2 types of Uncle going on at the same time. Like I mentioned with the whole spa scene, it was an emotional character building moment while still being spicy and funny all at the same time. You have the action portions, which are just really fun action styles, like as we see with our girl Alicia, she ends up being able to use the other party member's skills, and she punches that Attack on Titan looking beast to no tomorrow that it runs home screaming for its mama. So you get that really fun action side of things while also just kind of being like funny and kind of like crazy all in the process. And I think that's the thing that I've appreciated the most about this show, is that we've had funny isekai, we've had creative isekais, we've had all these types of things, but I will say the way Uncle goes about blending so many different things all at the same time and never really losing the charm but still progressing Uncle as a character, it really goes a long way, because I was never quite expecting Uncle to feel as human as he currently does, given the amount of meme-worthy scenes that we see him in, or the fact that he can casually say, yeah, I didn't erase my memories in the bathroom when I ran off thinking they didn't give a shit about me. No, instead I'm more or less just killing my heart so I can't feel anything, as Takefumi's like, ooh, this is a good idea. That's what's really nice about this, is that, in theory, we should have already seen all these episodes. If there wasn't the unexpected break, this would have been one great batch of 13 episodes. But because we did have that break, it does make me reflect a little more on the journey that we've seen now over 11 episodes. Not to discredit episode 1 all the way up to now everything before the show came back, but there is something about seeing it in such a funny, wholesome, spicy way, to now seeing Uncle be able to have those exact same style of scenes, but make him feel like he's caring more, that we're seeing genuine happiness from him. It's not just him being treated as an orc. He generally feels like he's learning from mistakes, realizing he shouldn't just erase memories. We're having all these different character moments, and it makes it into a show that goes from like a 9 out of 10 hilarious, awesome isekai more into that 10 out of 10 quality that is completely unforgettable. I truly don't know where we go from here. I mean, they're revealing quite a bit about how Uncle was trying to get back home. Obviously, it ended up working, given he did wake back up in this world. But I'm interested to see where the last 2 episodes of this show will go, and where the show will leave off, because it's done a great job at character building and just being funny all at the same time. And if we've learned anything after this episode, is Elf will not share, especially with her newfound sniper rifle. So gotta keep that in mind, Uncle. But thoughts and feelings on the episode down below. Do leave a like if you enjoy, and subscribe if you're new around here. Like I mentioned, full live reaction is available on the Patreon, and while you're there, you can also get video shoutouts like a few are about to get. So we got Tasty Treats, Nergareth, and Matthew. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.